Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers and sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today's date is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. So a lot of interesting stuff is happening, as we know it. And of course, they all want to go after President Trump for what has happened. He may have made some errors. It's possible, according to some analysts from the alternative media, which is respectable. I'm not going to crucify them by any means. You've got to look at the pros and cons. And yes, people have passed, which is very horrific. I was like watching some of the videos, and it looks like someone took out one woman who was serving the Air Force. I don't even know I don't have her name on top of my head at the moment, so forgive me on that. I have to watch it a few times, multiple scenes too, and he was like behind the door, or near behind the door, and that's where he took the shot. Got the person right in the neck. And she passed. She was like 35 years old and serving the Air Force. Yes, I am convinced, too, it's a socially engineered event. And many of the people that were a little bit disturbed got distracted by them. Even though, like I tell people in my last show, yeah, he, John Schaefer, I always believed he stood for what was right. I'm going to commend him for that. Some people don't like it. Who cares? Don't bother me one bit. But for him had a solid point, he may have entrapped himself, too. Maybe influenced by those provocateurs. There was stuff pre-planned, even from Antifa flyers, that personate Trump. Personate MAGA fans. MAGA supporters. What you gotta do is do a little reading. But I'm not going to pick a particular group of what happened. When you got these little ordeals, expect infiltrators, provocateurs, and plants. I watched even multiple videos. A lot of the Trump supporters were wigging out. And they say, don't smash the windows. Gateway Pundit. That's why I always praise the citizen journalists for being there. Because you get the raw facts. Not the sugarcoated crap you see on these crappy news stations, including ESPN. It's pathetic when you see people like these NBA stars, athletes, and so forth, trying to think they all know it all, right? What they're kneeling down to the national anthem in unity. I can tell you this. Fidel Castro is extremely proud. Change your name to the MBA, Marxist Basketball Association. If you really want it, when you get your money all taken away, don't come crying to people like myself. So I said, being a tyrannical bootlegger doesn't pay. And folks out there know I'm not a big Trump lover by any means, but he's probably one of the greatest scapegoats in presidential history. Yeah, I can say that. There's a great amount of things I disagree with him on. There's a lot I do. Yeah, I'm fair. But all those little minions in there who are climaxing, masturbating with the war gods, to the tyrannical saviors, claim they know it all. You got folks out there wanting to invoke the 25th Amendment, including infidel Ilhan, another globalist scum queen that she is. All you got to do, folks, is look up H.R. 1111. She signed it, so did guys like Alcee Hastings. Globalist crapbags indeed. But that's okay, right, folks? How many of you love exceptionalism? That's all I see out there. Biggest bunch of hypocrites. In the mainstream media, people on social media, just talking out of their rear ends. Hey, I said the same thing about the George Floyd protest in South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. Not everyone are wicked. Yeah, they're infiltrators too, and I talk to every one of them best I can. Beware of those infiltrators and plants. You're right. I am. Thank you. Most of them were gone. A lot of them parked where I'm at. And they left. Yeah. So always expect that, folks. Social engineering at its finest. And I did post a meme on that. I might just use it. I might use it on my title for the show. I haven't got to tell you about Wing It, but I got a few things I'm going to talk about, and I got some people sharing stuff with me, and I said, you know what, just give me an idea. So I thank them. It's really intriguing. But the truth of the matter is, folks, nothing's over. Every state in the union can give them to tell the Huey and Dewey, Biden and Harris, up yours. And anything the federal government wants to shove down our throats or try to have us conscript, it won't work. Like I said before, nullification is the answer. Fellow's Papers 46, written by James Madison. And in the case of Prince versus the United States, Prince Mac versus the United States, on a 10th Amendment case. I'm expecting the federal government will have the least amount of control in a very long time. Beware of the political strife and talking about this going on a civil war, because the foreign enemies, want to benefit from this. Yes, be ready. I'm not going to refute it. It's all those people out there try to be political experts because they all got involved 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. You have no merit. Because you never take the initiative on studying government and civics. Because the same idiots you vote for in these tyrannical bills, but you still let them in, you still support, praise them, but you want to get rid of one man. And you think you're all saved. How pathetic and repugnant on your thought process. Yeah, some people may claim me an idiot, but hey, you try to be the chosen one, forget about it. I get inspired, which is all well and good. So I'm not going to back down what I said. I am disturbed what happened with the tragedies of some people got killed, murdered. I'm expecting them to get murdered. Even the Capitol Police. But Nancy Pelosi, you need to step down. And all you scumbag, oath-breaking saps. You have no homage coming from me. Bunch of contemptuous cowards. Believe you're smarter than everybody else? I've seen some of the people's faces that are trying to hide. I don't know how accurate it is, but I can tell you this. They're worried. But we can destroy them legally, folks. We do got that power within us. All you got to do is learn to implement it, including myself. I'm no Phineas J. Whoopi, but I always do my best to pay attention and look at all angles, observe responsibly. And that's how I survive all these years. And I'll never take it for granted. All right, well, that's a nice lengthy rant. So we'll pay homage to President Trump, the greatest scapegoat in presidential history, right? Well, I can tell you this. Looks like it is a New World Order coup in a long time. And you call this the coup is going on, the so-called insurrection. Even with the newspapers are saying it. Awful, stupid, lousy. Yeah. That's why I'm not a big fan of these mainstream garbage media. I just look at everything thoroughly. and make my own judgment without them telling me how to think. All right, sorry for digressing here. We're going to do a few articles and see how this goes. This is what Jeffrey Rosen has to say. Statement of Acting Attorney Jeffrey Rosen, A. Rosen, which he's a proud member of the Council of Foreign Relations. This is from the Justice.gov website. Yesterday, our nation watched in disbelief as a mob breached the Capitol building and required federal and local law enforcement to help restore order. The Department of Justice is committed to ensuring that those responsible for this attack on our government and on the rule of law face the full consequences of their actions under the law. Our criminal prosecutors have been working throughout the night with special agents and investigators from the U.S. Capitol Police, FBI, ATF, Metro Police Department, and the public to gather the evidence. Identify perpetrators, charge federal crimes were warranted. Some participants in yesterday's violence will be charged today, and we will continue to methodically assess evidence, charge crimes, and make arrests in the coming days and weeks to ensure that those responsible are held accountable under the law. You know, it's so funny to say 55 have been arrested so far, according to Epoch Times. Interesting about that. How come you don't arrest the servants in there? All those career politicians for breaching the rule of law, Mr. Rosen. Right? It's not the question. Liberty for me, but not for thee. Some Puritan ideology, of course. Well, I'm going to hit this one next here. So I got a little statement. And, of course, came from the National Post. Chinese embassy brags Uyghur women no longer baby making machines after reports of forced sterilization. This is by Natalie Winters. The Chinese Communist Party's U.S. Embassy boasts on Twitter how a study revealed Uyghur women felt as they were no longer making baby making machines. The study, which links eradicating extremism to the emancipation of Uyghur women and improvement of gender equality and reproductive health, comments amidst several reports of the Chinese government has forcibly sterilized several women in the Xinjiang province. In efforts to cut Uyghur birth rates, the Communist Chinese Party has also been accused of forcing abortions and birth control on the female population in the Chinese province. Here's what they have to say. Studies show, this is from the embassy itself. Studies show that in the process of eradicating extremism, the minds of Uyghur women in Xinjiang were emancipated and gender equality and reproductive health were promoted, making them no longer baby-making machines. They are more confident and independent. It's from the China Daily. That's the embassy saying that. So, folks, you want to have the assholes you want, excuse my language, to be buddy-buddy with these people? Posting on Twitter, the embassy links to study published in a state-run media outlet China Daily, claiming to show that the eradication of extremism has given Xinjiang women more autonomy. Ain't that sick or what? Natalie Winters wrote that. Very disturbing indeed. Yeah, all the pro-abortion freaks probably like that, right? Like sterilization, eugenics. Yeah, part of the problem. New World Order scumbags. I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little bit, I don't like being insulted, folks. Alright, so those areas, like I said, it's principle. The principle. I'm very disturbed about these things. Here's what the National File says here. I think it's Infowars related. So I got to observe here responsibly. Georgia legislator says Democrats will treat Trump supporters as Negroes. Black Democrat U.S. representative from Georgia abandons Biden call for unity, saying Trump's supporters should be perp walked and treated like Negroes. U.S. Congressman from Georgia has gone on record as believing President Trump and his supporters should be used as Negroes have in the U.S. justice system. U.S. Representative Hank Johnson, Democrat from Georgia, viciously rebuked President-elect Joe Biden's call for unity on a popular Sirius XM satellite radio program by declaring President Trump and his supporters and those who originally sought to challenge illegitimate electoral college elector states should be perp walked to jail like Negroes. Johnson specifically mentioned U.S. Senators Ted Cruz, who abandoned his challenge after the violence on Capitol Hill yesterday, and Josh Hawley, Republican from Missouri. In proposing that would be better for the Democrat Party and the incoming Biden administration to simply say Trump did some bad things, but look forward. Sirius XM host Dean Abidallah rightly said executing political retribution would be detrimental to our party. But Johnson embracing the totalitarian and despotic practice of persecuting political rivals was going to have nothing to do with unity. You can't let this behavior slide, Johnson responded. You can't ignore it and hope that it is not going to happen again. You see what's shaping up for the future with guys like Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz who are looking to turn the Trump Republican Party into the Trump Republican Party on steroids. The Georgia Democrat, in exposing his willingness, embraced the political persecution of his rivals continued, saying Republican lawmakers will be quick to learn they will not be allowed to get away with what Donald Trump did. Yep, he loves witch hunting. I'll continue on here. We have got to make sure that those who come after Trump know that they will be getting away with that. So you know what? Yeah, we got to make sure that those who come after Donald Trump know that they will not be allowed to get away with what Trump did. They will be held accountable. Johnson insisted they will be treated, yes, like Negroes. They will be perped, walked to the jail, handcuffed, not in front of them, but behind them. They will be booked, fingerprint, have to make bond, have to hire a lawyer just like everyone else and get through this system. You know what? I'm gonna... You know what? I'm gonna check this out here. You know, let's hear this first. Okay? I got the audio on here ready to go, and you can make your own judgment.
It will be so detrimental to our party if, for the sake of unity, which doesn't exist, that the Biden administration or leadership would say, well, Trump did some bad things, but let's look forward. And I just wanted to convey that to you, Congressman, because when I speak to people on the base here, it would be so destructive to our party if that's the way we go.
You can't let this behavior slide. You can't ignore it and hope that it's not going to happen again, because you see what's shaping up for the future with guys like Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz and others who are looking to turn Trump, the Trump Republican Party, into the Trump Republican Party on steroids. And Donald Trump has already done a good job of turning this Republican Party into something that we never dreamed of before. But if you let one of those guys get in, they're already showing you that they're willing to take it to the next level. And so we've got to make sure that those who come after Donald Trump know that they will not be allowed to get away with what Donald Trump did, that they will be held accountable. They will be treated, yes, like Negroes, They will be perp walked to the jail, hands handcuffed, not in front of them, but behind them. And they will be booked, fingerprinted, have to make bond, and have to hire a lawyer just like everybody else and go through the system. The system feasts on black folks, but for once it needs to turn its attention to what this man has done to turn our country into something that we just don't need to let it get to. He's affecting everyone, and he can't be allowed to get away with it, because if we allow him to get away with it, there'll be others who try to do the same thing, and we don't even want them to think about trying to do what Trump has done.
Pretty self-explanatory, right? Absolutely. So that's what he says down here. And I'll just hit the last paragraph here. In 2016, Johnson said Jewish settlers in Israel were like termites. In 2010, ignorantly expressed its fear that the island of Guam might capsize if it were overpopulated. Oh yeah, that's Hank Johnson for you. The colored version of Jim Crow, right? He loves Jim Crow laws. Tells you his Lord and Savior is Idi Amin Dada. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. The guy's a freedom-hating sap anyway. Just like the rest of the cronies in there, in the District of Criminals. Yeah, I'm just like, just chilled out, I'm just sorry, I'm just, I'm not already in my rant. Guess my rants, that's all I have to say is enough there. This one here came out interesting. This one just came out. I tried to get this shared. It's from Hal Turner Radio. He make a statement here that the president boards E-4B command post flying to NMCC, Abilene, Texas. This is what he has to say here. President Trump boarded a night watch Boeing E-4B aircraft late this evening and is flying to National Military Command Center in Abilene, Texas. There are only 4 such planes in the world. The EB-4B is a command and control aircraft to allow a POTUS full, complete, and absolute control over the U.S. military asserts worldwide. Word coming out of the legal circles is that the Congress in Washington, D.C. committing treason, and the president is headed to the NMCC from where it is all being monitored. There's more. Attorney Lynn Wood is stating publicly that we see taking place is a coup, and what took place at the U.S. Capitol today was completely scripted and fraud. He's accused the big shots. That's what it says here. The entire event at Congress was scripted in order to pull a coup and overthrow President Trump. A magnificent, wonderful veteran lost her life. How do we feel? How do you feel about Mike Pence and his conspirators now? That's what Lynn has to say. And it's interesting about this video because they actually see the DC Finance actually opening up bicycle racks, okay? Bicycle racks. They're not even, why is it not even secured? It's like the whole thing's not even damn secured. So that's a question. You got to look at these things in the bigger picture, folks. This is why I say it's a social engineer incident. You don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to figure that one out. And, hold on here. See, hopefully I got my stuff here. One moment. Hopefully I didn't do it. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure I don't want to goof up here. All right. It says right here. That's what Lynn would post it. Our country is in the middle of a planned coup to overthrow the duly elected President Donald Trump. His ringleaders are Pence, Pelosi, and McConnell. It is all done as part of a CCP color revolution. What do? Ignore the lies. Stay ADM. Strong in supporting Trump. Pray to God to save us on this time. He will. And all will be well. Trust the Lord. For military circles, Acting Secretary of Defense confirms it was the VP Mike Pence, not President Trump, who authorized deployment of the National Guard. Trouble is, a vice president does not have any such authority. Pence seems to have usurped the commander-in-chief without lawful powers to do so. And this is like updated at 1:45 a.m. Eastern, okay? The reason Trump was relocated to command center at DICE in Abilene is a fully nuclear capable command facility for the continuity of government. The coup has been completed, and they are attempting a 25th Amendment illegal ouster. Being in control of the nation's nuclear capabilities has a strict chain of command that must be maintained for the republic to still be constitutional. That is why Trump had to be relocated, and the White House is on full lockdown indefinitely. We are in a state of federal government civil war. Whatever is actually taking place is so hugely serious. All info is now locked down so tightly, I'm having trouble finding out. More if when I get it. So definitely hit Hal Turner radioshow.com. And I'm going to have to do a little subscription here as well and see what I can get. So, interesting claims going on for my friends. This is why can we just be considered a New World Order coup? Yes, we can say CCP as well, but they're part of that network. It's been happening for a very long time. What we're observing. I always try to pay attention the best I can. I even told people September 11th with a New World Order agenda. Haven't backed off on that. Nope, not at all. To all those pipsqueaks in D.C. right now, all you usurped parasites, you know who you are. You may be watching us, but we're watching you. And that's the truth. You're the ones that be running scared. It's going to backfire on you big time, and many of you can't do a confounded thing about it. When I make these statements, it's on principle, and that's it. Like I said before, I'm critical towards Trump on a good amount of things. But him being a scapegoat, I'm not afraid to call these treasonous quacks out. Benedict Arnold is more courageous than all the idiots, the ingrates, the imbeciles, the cesspool in Washington, D.C. combined. I've read his work. I've read a good amount of stuff about him. I'm not fond of what he tried to do, what he done. But at least he was a man enough to write a letter to General Washington in the States. Stated he's fully responsible for his actions, and he begged to pardon his subordinate for being completely ignorant on his task. At least he was a man enough to do that. While these imbeciles in there, they don't have the courage to do that. That's why I'm not afraid to say Benedict Arnold is more patriotic than all those slime bags in there combined. That's how you gotta look at it, folks. New World Order coup. I know a train's coming by here. And I did send memes to all those slime bags in here anyway. Like, thank you for making me the greatest scapegoat in presidential history. So, stuff is gonna expect Mr. Toad's rod to arrive from this day forward, folks. And I hope and pray you prepare yourselves at the best of your abilities. And even your neighbors, even some political folks out there may have our differences about how these trolls think. They don't really give a damn about any of us. So make sure you get ready at the greatest of your capabilities. Because those people aren't there to save you. And that's a fact. And that will be it. I want to thank everyone for listening, plus feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to the quorum. Furthermore, I will leave the footnotes on this episode on my Spreaker page. If you want to contact me, you can hit me at lookylooknumber3@gmail.com or lookylooknumber03@protonmail.com. If you want to do a donation, you can hit me at paypal.me and cash.app or cash.app at /lookylooknumber3. If you want to do donations to the other sites, make it work. That would be very cool. Alright, once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. May your guardian spirits be with you.